afternoon, and thank you very much to Joe and to Ollie for the great introduction and for cooperating with us today. And I'm happy to give you a few headlines on LEGOLAND Florida and how things are going. We're just 25 days away now from opening, so it's getting very tight. We have 900 staff members on board, and they're all being trained and getting ready for opening day, and about 500 construction workers still finishing all the last bits and pieces there before the grand opening, as I said, in just 25 days from now, so it's very, very exciting. I'll race through in my presentation 6 headlines and try to do that in as fast as my broken Danish accent will allow me in about 10 to 12 minutes. But if you're getting bored, give me a hint and I'll speed up even further than that. First of all, very briefly on the background of Lego, LEGOLAND and Merlin. The Lego company, of which the LEGOLAND Parks of course originates, the Lego company was founded back in the 1930s. Lego bricks came around in the late 1940s, and at the global headquarters of Lego, they showcased in a LEGOLAND park from 1968 what the idea really is of Lego. And it wasn't meant to be a theme park that should be replicated in other locations, but over the next couple of decades, they found that actually this LEGOLAND park was growing in popularity. It was turning into a nice business, but most of all, it was the best way for Lego fans really to experience what the idea is of Lego. So people were coming from further and further afield to experience this park. So we said in the early 90s, let's look at places in which we can maybe replicate this idea and go to new locations. So we opened LEGOLAND Windsor 1996 as the first LEGOLAND park outside of the UK, actually a little bit similar to what you will see on LEGOLAND Florida on the former Windsor Safari Park, and that was transferred into a LEGOLAND park. 1999 LEGOLAND California opened, and in 2002, 9 years ago, we opened LEGOLAND in Germany, in southern Bavaria, between Munich and Stuttgart. The Lego company then took a pause on opening more parks. Honestly, the company became into some challenges. They decided to divest all businesses that were not related to being a toy company. So they stepped out of children's clothing, watches and whatever they got engaged in, and also sold off the LEGOLAND parks. So we became part of Merlin Entertainment Group in 2005, and honestly that is probably the best thing that could happen. We're now part of an attraction company and are more from a business perspective having similarities with attraction colleagues than we do with toy colleagues. We still enjoy a fantastic relationship back with the Lego company that still retains 36% ownership of the business of the Merlin Entertainment Group that is owned, the 2 other owners, and that is CVC and Blackstone, 2 private equity companies. Merlin Entertainment Group, for those of you that don't know, is the 2nd largest attraction company in the world. We have over 40 million visitors to our 78 attractions around the world coming every year. And we are expanding not just with the LEGOLAND park at the moment, but opening 4, 5, 6 new attractions outside of that in new locations. So that's, first of all, very briefly, the background in of our ownership. Secondly, headline I thought would be relevant is, what is a LEGOLAND park? How many of you have not been to a LEGOLAND park? Sorry, just confess, I won't haunt you for that. So, just to say, okay, so quite a few. There's some tickets for all of you, whether you've been or not. If you haven't received them already, I think they're in the little lunch boxes that were on the outside. So take the opportunity to go out to LEGOLAND Windsor and get an impression of what the parks is. LEGOLAND Florida will be different, as I will talk about in a minute, but it will give you a good idea of what a LEGOLAND park is, so please take the opportunity to visit that. A LEGOLAND park is different from any other attractions. We normally appeal, I say, to 2 different target groups. First of all, we are an attraction that focuses completely on families with young children and providing them an experience that by and large is interactive in nature. It's not just passive entertainment, but active fun that you can experience in LEGOLAND. So if you live in the local area or you like that type of experience, you go to LEGOLAND. The other typical visitor we have, and that's extremely important for LEGOLAND Florida, is fans of Lego. And there are millions of them around the world, and for them a LEGOLAND experience is of course also a theme park experience, but it is the ultimate Lego experience that these fans are seeking out. So they come to Legoland simply to experience Lego. I can assure you that we see people from very far afield coming to our existing 4 Legoland parks already today, and I'm convinced that that's one of the things that would be very successful also for us in Florida. And we're looking for new locations, therefore, where the family is considering going to a location to visit the Legoland Park can find synergy with the area, visit all the other great things that Central Florida has to offer, but also all the other theme parks that are in the area. So it's not that hard of a sell if you're from somewhere in the UK or from somewhere in North America, your 7-year-old son or daughter is into Lego. Well, you want to go to Legoland and you want to combine that with doing other things in the area as well. And that's maybe then the third headline on why Florida and why Winter Haven as a particular location. Florida and the Orlando market is the strongest market in the world for families with children in terms of tourism destination. So that is our overall reason why we for the last more than 10 years have looked for the right opportunity for us also to enter that market with the Legoland Park. And as I mentioned before, the synergy between the existing attractions and the existing offers and us coming into the market, we believe is very, very strong. The particular location in Winter Haven, we think is perfectly located between the Orlando market and the Tampa market, so we can capture both. We have very carefully researched that the distance isn't perceived to be too far for the tourist. It's an easy day trip to go from Orlando or from Tampa to go into Winter Haven and back again if you don't want to stay in the local area during the day. We find that the particular location for us offers us the opportunity to create from day one a very unique experience. We built the park on the former grounds of what was called Cypress Gardens. Cypress Gardens was by and large a huge botanical gardens with a lot of flair of the local market, lots of atmosphere, a fantastic beautiful landscape, and that is where we can integrate the Legoland Park. And we believe from day one we position the Legoland Park as we believe the most beautiful theme park in the world. It's a big statement, but I think and I hope when we come and see it that is actually also what you will find. We have enough land also over time to start creating our own destination, our own profile around the park with hotels and second gate facilities. So that is what will happen over the next years as well around Legoland Florida. Next headline, what will Legoland Florida be like? Legoland Florida has the benefit of us already having 4 Legoland parks. So we have picked the best of attractions from the existing 4 Legoland parks and put them into Legoland Florida. We're combining that, as I mentioned earlier, with existing program in Legoland, in the Cypress Gardens Park, of the botanical gardens, the beautiful landscape, and some specific attractions that will make Legoland Florida different from any other park. For example, Joe spoke about the history of the area in terms of ski show. Actually, the highlight and the main focus of ski shows in that area was on the grounds of Cypress Gardens. If you can remember, you've seen pictures of people standing in a pyramid, forming a pyramid when they're on a ski show. Those pictures would typically have originated from Cypress Gardens. That was the capital in the world really for ski show. So we like that history and have taken our own unique twist on that tradition and turned that into a minifigure ski show. So that's themed around pirates, and there's a beautiful story around that. So when you come to Legoland Florida, you can actually see Lego minifigures water skiing out on the lake and performing a very unique show. The Miniland area, which is the heart of any Legoland park, where you see all the beautiful Lego models replicating geographical areas from around the world, will of course be themed specifically to Florida, and you will see American highlights, plus a very big Florida cluster, a new pirate section and so on. So there's a lot of unique things in that. We have an observation tower, just to mention a few of the things, and then all the popular highlights from the other parks, our driving school, the Lego castle, the fire truck area, the fire academy show, etc., etc. 50 ride shows and attractions in total will be the attraction offer that we're starting out with, and that will be the biggest Legoland park we have ever opened. So for us, we have very, very big confidence in the marketplace of Legoland. And then, as I said, Cyprus Gardens, the botanical gardens, the heart of the botanical gardens, of about 30 acres of land, will be there. And you can see on the park map that is in front of me here how that is positioned in as a bonus offer on top of the Legoland Park. You can, and that's included in your ticket, you can enter the Cyprus Gardens area and sort of enjoy the beauty of that area on top of Legoland. Fifth headline will be almost to the end here of my long speech. The future vision of the park, I just want to mention that we believe that we are opening up an attraction that has enough content for people, not just for a full day experience, but really for entertaining people for 2 or more days in the park. If you have families with younger children, there's more than enough for you to go for a full day and even extend into a second or third day experience. And we want to leverage that even stronger in the future, have plans. We don't have specific years on it yet, but we know that we're going to open other gates. We've opened a water park in Florida in California last year that has been tremendously popular. There's an existing water park already on the site that we've taken over. That will be part of our expansion very soon to come. And we're working on plans for accommodation-themed Lego accommodation facilities and other things that will be added on to the project over the next very few years. So we think that this is just the starting point, and we will every year invest in new attractions to be added on to the park, just like we do in our 4 existing Legoland parks. So just in summary, before I'll show you a video with some footage of what the park would look like, I will summarize and say I think there are 5 success factors for us really that hopefully will be the things that are underpinning the success of Legoland Florida. First of all, I believe we're benefiting big times from Merlin's experience. We have 78 attractions, have really pulled together lots of resources internally in making this the best of any attractions that we have created so far. We have 4 Legoland parks. We understand clearly how our parks, in this very competitive environment that we already see, especially in California, are completely differentiated and a unique experience compared to all the other big competitors. And all the other big competitors that we find in Orlando more or less are the same competitive situation that we have now existed successfully in California. So we'll be really sharp on understanding that we are an interactive experience for families with young children, strongly themed on the Lego experience. Then we are a non-replaceable experience for families with young children, and especially if you're into Lego and your family is interested in Lego products. Unfortunately for us, there's a lot of them out there. Thirdly, and that's related to that point, Lego is stronger than ever. And if you follow the press on Lego, Lego's growth is tremendous at the moment. We're growing, or the Lego company is growing all over the world with increasing sales and penetration. And especially the growth has been strong in the North American market, which is the strongest market, single market for the Lego company. So also for that basis, it's natural for us now to extend with a second Legoland park in that market. Fourth, I mentioned it is the strongest family destination in the world. We think it's absolutely natural for us also to be there with a Legoland park. And fifth, but not last, we think we have established very strong cooperation already with lots of key players in the industry, and especially also here in the UK market, to work with companies like Attraction Tickets Direct and the great offers that they have been coming out with for the consumers. I think that is another thing that will venture very well for our success, hopefully. But we don't take anything for granted. We are very humble about our expectation, but the reception so far, I can assure you, from ticket sales that we've had early indications and consumer receptions, etc., locally, has been extremely strong, and it is a very spoiled consumer that we're dealing with out in Florida. So we look forward to hopefully welcoming all of you to see Legoland. Get the opportunity until end of midterm. You can go and visit the park in Windsor, and in just 25 days, hopefully take the chance to come and join us in Legoland Florida. I'll end out just showing you quickly now a video